Hey, what's up everyone, it's your girl Brain Shanae, and today I'll be sharing with you my Blackoweenathon and my October wrap up, so please stay tuned. And I am back, and also if you're new to my channel, welcome. If not, welcome back. So like I said before, I'll be sharing with you everything that I read in October, plus the books that I read for Blackoweenathon. So without further ado, let's get started. So one of the books that I read for Blackoweenathon was Nana, which was recommended by, of course, the one and only Bree from the Lockbooktician. She highly recommended this, and so I wanted to read it. And I also made sure this book was the pick for my members, so that we always pick a book every single month. And we went with Nana. So I was like, okay, this will be a good discussion. And I like I said, Bree constantly raves about it, so I was curious. So like I said, I read Nana. I gave it a 4 to 5 stars. I really enjoyed the book. I just, as a person that like heavily reads fantasy, I always want to find that conclusion, and to know more things about like Grace. How did she become this succubus, this terrible, this whatever you want to consider her, a person, some type of paranormal type of deal, and like, how did like Monica was able to become her youthful self again, like stuff like that, and what happens to everything. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 to 5 stars, and like I said, I also did a group discussion with my members, which I'll leave up above so you can check that out. It was a great discussion, and had a fun time just sharing my thoughts and my perspectives on things and stuff like that, and how I felt about everything while I was reading it. It was just a great experience, and thank you so much, Bree, for recommending it. I appreciate it, and it was just a good time. The next book that I had read for Blackoweenathon, which I did a vlog for because I did a vlog for White Smoke, so I wanted to do a vlog for this one as well, and that is The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. I will also leave my video up above for my vlog up there. I gave this a 4 to 5 stars, but hear me out. When I saw the comments and stuff on the vlog, and people's like, did you read the epilogue? If you pre-ordered it, I was like, wait, I did pre-order the book. And so, I found the email where I was able to get an epilogue of it where it's not included in the book. And I felt, and even in my vlog, I said that I gave it a 4 to 5 stars because it just left me hanging. Like, what happened to them? What happened to everybody? What happened to Maddie? What happened? Like, you just gave me nothing, Tiffany. And then everybody was like, did you read the epilogue? Did you read the epilogue? And I was like, wait, what epilogue? And a lot of my subscribers and people that watched my vlog told me about it. I'm like, oh, let me check my email. And I kid you not, I had it, and so I had printed it out. And just reading this epilogue, I changed my whole rating to a 5 star instead of 4. It is a 5 star for The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. Like, if you didn't pre-order the book, you weren't able to get the epilogue, but who knows, maybe Tiffany and the publisher changed their minds and they will put it to the public, or later on, possibly in the future. But it gave me everything that I wanted. It left me knowing where Maddie is, where everyone was, and even with her her mother as well. Like, I thought that was just amazing. I loved it. I loved it. And like, this is in not only that, with this epilogue, it's their future selves. They're older too. They're not just teenagers anymore. So I was like, oh snap. And it was just too good. So yeah, this epilogue alone changed my rating from a 4 to a 5, and I loved it. And I will be keeping this epilogue. I'm gonna probably end up laminating it or putting it in a binder to keep this and have this with the book, because man, the epilogue is a game changer. Such a game changer. So I really enjoyed this book. If you haven't picked it up, I suggest you do so. I mean, I did a vlog for White Smoke and I wasn't really a fan of it, but I feel for me that Tiffany D. Jackson had done her thing with this book, and I applaud her. I applaud her. Like, I loved all her other works. I just wasn't a fan of White Smoke, but she redeemed herself in my eyes, and this was just amazing. So I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, especially after reading that epilogue. And then the next book that I read was The Getaway by Lamar Giles. I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. It was a good book. It's just not what I was expecting, especially since it's a YA book. There's a lot of things where it's like, oh, there's definitely has to be, I'm not sure what the, cause this is just the ARC, but I'm not sure what the other copy, like the finished copy it looks like, or what's inside it, but like just alone, like I wish there was some content warnings, because what had happened in this book, I feel like it could definitely go for as an adult book as well, but I get the gist of it as being YA because the main characters are teenagers, you know, so I get that aspect. But like, for instance, there is a lynching scene in this book, just to give you a heads up with the content in this book, and that might not be something that everyone wants to read. And I wasn't even expecting that scene until I read it, so it was like, whoa, yeah. And it's all about pretty much this resort, and people are like mysteriously have gone missing and stuff. So it's just interesting. Like, I marked it down, I tabbed it up. It has a lot of graphic things in this, especially about, you know, racism and stuff about people. So definitely, like, I enjoyed it, but like I said, it was just, I don't know what it was, but I don't know. Maybe I'll give it another try. But I still gave it a 3 out of 5 stars because it's still a great story. I love the premise of it. I love the characters. I think all the characters was amazing. The world was amazing on how everything was written. It's just some things just got me all like, whoa, like, give me a heads up. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. It's just, I think that it might not be for everyone. But yeah, I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars for The Getaway by Lamar Giles. The next book I read, which I wanted to read because everybody kept fucking telling me about Jessica, and I'm like, who is Jessica? Like, what is going on? Like, why is people so pissed about Jessica? Like, what's going on? So I read My Soul to Keep by Tanner Dew, and I loved it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, and I continue on reading the series. I want to complete it. I won't complete it in 2022, but I will complete it in 2023. Best believe. Such a good book, just breaking down like the main characters, DeWitt, like, Jessica, she was getting on my fucking nerves, and apparently she's gonna be getting on my nerves in the remainder for the rest of the series. So it's like, I gotta just suck it up and just get over it. A lot of stuff that happened in this book, like a lot of the bad things that happened in this book, is because of Jessica. And I'm like, Jessica, you can blame DeWitt, your husband or whatever, but you also need to have take accountability for the actions that you have done, because if you didn't do A, B, and C, you know, we wouldn't, you know, D, E, F, G wouldn't have happened. You know, like, it was just, yeah, Jessica was just effing everything up. But overall, I love the story. I definitely cannot wait to read the second book, which I do have. I probably won't end up reading it in November, but I'm thinking of reading it and starting back on it in January or February. I'm just trying to get some of my books that I already have out of the way, and there's some anticipated reads that I want to get to and review for everyone. So yeah, but I really enjoyed this book, and I can't wait for the next one. And then the rest of these books are for like my other books outside of Blackoweenathon. I know some people have read this book for Blackoweenathon, but I wanted to read it anyways. And that is Amari and the Great Game by B.B. Alston. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. As you read this, Amari is gonna go through it, and you are gonna go through it with Amari. And I feel like even just being Black in America, we go through it on a regular basis, and you know, it was tough seeing things being taken away from Amari, from left to right. Like, everything wasn't going good at all for Amari. Like, she could not catch a break. And so some people had to put it down. Some people just finished it and said, like, it was just hard because Amari was going through it, which I do get it. Like, I get it. But I'm thinking, like, in this next book, she went through that, all through that for a reason, and she's going to come up on top. She, you know, for at the end of the book, she was able to get some relief of what was happening to her, which I'm not going to spoil that for y'all. Y'all have to read it. But there was some type of, there was light, you know, there was not always dark. And I feel like just having that motivation, like at the end of what happens with her and who she talks to finally, I think everything is going to be worth it. And it's hard to say that she had to go through all this just to get somewhere. But I know that it's not all going to be, how can I say this? Like I said, she went all, I feel like all this happened for a reason. And just reading it, I felt for Amari. I felt everything that she's going through. She's like, I can't catch a break. It's like, I'm trying to do good. And it's like, I'm getting persecuted and punished when I'm trying to help and trying to solve this case. And like, regardless of what I'm doing, you still look at me like I am your enemy, like I am the bad guy. So it gets you to your core. But I do appreciate this book. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars because I know something great is going to happen with Amari. It just wasn't in this book. So I'm continuing on reading this series, and it was a great time. It's just, you know, you have to get through the hard times in order to get to the good. And I feel like that can be for anybody with life and stuff like that, even though this is fantasy or whatever, and it's a middle grade, but just in general, looking from a different perspective. But overall, I really enjoyed this book, and I cannot wait for the next one because I know Amari is going to do great things. So yeah, I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars for Amari and the Great Game. The next book, which I had did a vlog about, a vlog for, because I had did a vlog for the first book, Skin of the Sea. So I wanted to do a vlog for the second book and the final book, I believe. And that is Soul of the Deep by Natasha Bowen, where we continue on with Semi and Kola and this epic adventure with them, and like this type of relationship that they have for one another, this love that they have for one another. And when I think about while I was reading this and doing my vlog, it really got to me at the very end, especially when she was able to, sorry, I'm sort of tearing up, when she was able to make a choice. Yomojo was able to give her that choice and provide her one, saying there are other avenues that you can take because I'm giving this to you and everything that you've done. So I really appreciate this book. I enjoyed it. I loved it. If you want to watch my vlog, make sure you do that. I'll leave it up above. But I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars, and I love Natasha Bowen's writing. It was beautiful, and I just had a great time. And I was sad that it's ending. Like, it was only a duology, I believe, unless Natasha got something up her sleeve. But I definitely will be continuing on reading books by Natasha Bowen, and this was just beautiful. Loved it. And I hope that if you haven't picked up this book, I suggest you do so. So yeah, I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars for Soul of the Deep. And don't forget to check out my vlog, where I'll be giving you my live reactions as I'm reading the book. So definitely watch that after this video. Next one is a manga, which was recommended to me by Ashley from the Bookish Realm, and that is A Galaxy Next Door by Guido Amagakure. Sorry if I'm not saying the author's name correctly, but Ashley had mentioned this, and I was like, "Ooh, let me read this," and it was so cute, like really cute. Like, this girl from a different planet, goes to Earth, and she stumbles upon somebody that does manga for a living, and he needed an assistant. She becomes his assistant, and next thing you know, she like stings him or whatever with her little stinger or whatever, and he thought it was like a pen, and then she was like, "Oh, you're supposed to be my love because, I stung you." And it was a fun time. It was really cute, and I really enjoyed it, to the point where I definitely had gotten the second one, the second volume, which I haven't read yet, but I'm looking forward to it. It was just a fun time, and it was cute. So of course I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. It was amazing. So, and thank you, Ashley, for this recommendation. Your recommendations are amazing so far, and I'm sure they're going to continue being amazing. But yeah, I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars for A Galaxy Next Door right here. These next two books I had did book reviews for. The first one is Prince of Song and Sea by Lindsay Miller. This is going to be like another series where it's going to be from the prince's perspectives. So the first book is Prince Eric from The Little Mermaid. The second one is going to be from Sleeping Beauty from Prince Philip's point of view, which I do like. I feel like we don't really, we know everything about the princesses, but not the princes. Like we don't know. So, and I felt like just knowing Prince Eric's perspective and his background and stuff, I was just blown away, and I loved the book. I loved it, but definitely watch my book review if you want more detail about it. And then the other book that I did a whole book review for was also The Lords of Night. It's a Shadow Bruja novel by J.C. Cervantes. Oh, amazing. I'm definitely looking forward to the second book. I'm not going to say anything more. If you want to know more details about this book, go check out my book review, which I'll also leave up above. But it's amazing, and I will continue on with this. Cannot wait for the second one. And the next one is also a manga, and that is Monster. It's volume 5. I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars for this. Like, there was a lot of things being revealed, which I will continuously say as I'm reading Monster, because it's like we're seeing the characters in the previous volumes, and we're revisiting them in a sense, and it's like, oh, you're this person, you're that person, like it's all coming together like a big puzzle. So I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, and I can't now wait to read the volume 6. So yeah, gave it a 5 out of 5 stars for Monster volume 5. So yeah, cannot wait. Now, the next books that I have read are from the Brandon Sanderson read-along that Bree and I are doing. And so we had read Edge Dancer, which is in my edition of the Aquarium Bounded by Brandon Sanderson, which is like literally the last maybe 200 pages in the back of it. So this is Edge Dancer right here in the very back. And I gave this, I think I gave it like a 3 out of 5 stars because it was okay. But it was sort of a nice thing to know that Lift is one of Brandon Sanderson's favorite characters in the Stormlight Archive series. So it's like, oh, okay. So, all right, we're going to see more of Lift in Stormlight, which is what me and Brie are currently reading, Stormlight. And we're finishing out the year with Stormlight. So in November, we're reading Oathbringer, and then we're going to be reading Dawnshard. And then December, we're reading Rhythm of War and the Lost Metal from Mistborn Heir 2. So yeah, and then of course we read Brandon Sanderson, Words of Radiance. I gave this, I think I gave it a 4 or 5 out of 5 stars. I don't remember at the top of my head. We had done a discussion on my channel, which I'll leave up above about it, as well as we were discussing also Edge Dancer. And we were picking up on things, and as we were talking, we were like, wait, is this person? And we're like, oh, we have seen this person before in Warbreaker. And so everything is adding up in the Cosmere world. And this, because we're reading all of Cosmere this year. And as we've been reading it this year, we're starting to put 2 and 2 together, which I find very fascinating and fun. And it's just like when we reveal that this character is this character, because as we're reading Cosmere, their names are changed. They're different. So I find it very interesting as we did our little research, as we were discussing the book and stuff. Like, it was amazing. And I'm really enjoying the read along. It will be sad when we close it up, but who knows what we may have in store for you all that has stayed with us with this year-long read-along with Brandon Sanderson books as far as his Cosmere, in the Cosmere world. But yeah, like, we're ending the year with these big, gigantic, thick books, but it's all worth it, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really enjoying reading these books with Brie as well, and everyone else that's been with us and discussing the books with us, and just having a great time. So I really do appreciate it and enjoy it. But that is it. Those are all the books I read for October and Blackoweenathon. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I know I was blabbling about, but that's but I can't help it because I've been loving all the books I have been reading throughout this year. It's been fun. It's crazy how literally October came and went. It's crazy. This year is going by just too fast for me. Too fast. I'm not ready for 2023. Are y'all? I know I'm not. I'm not even ready for Christmas, and Christmas music is already playing at my job that I have to listen to every single day. Oh man. But anyways, that is it. Like I said, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you so much for watching, everyone, and please stay healthy and stay safe. See ya.